Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how the narcissist makes you look crazy to others. And by the end of this video, you're going to learn how they do this and how you can combat it. So first things first, narcissists pick people that are generally usually very loving, maybe more people pleasers, people that are more kind-hearted. They pick people that are opposites of them, or they have things that they crave that they don't have themselves. Maybe someone who's more nurturing, someone who is like a bright light in the world. Narcissists generally are dim, soul-sucking people that are broken inside. They are shells of people. And so when you are a shell of a person, you don't have a strong identity. You're looking for someone who has this bright light, who seems like they can give them what they don't have. Now, generally when someone is more of a codependent people pleaser, you are more likely to become more resentful eventually when you feel like you're being taken advantage of, and you may become more passive aggressive as time goes on. And so they use this to their advantage. This is where reactive abuse can come into play. I mean, anyone generally would break down when someone is manipulating them and tormenting them, but it doesn't start off that way. You will not have big emotional reactions in the beginning of being with this person. So generally when they pick someone like this, they may have picked you, you're not going to have big emotional reactions at first. You actually may blame yourself and think that you're the problem. And you may try to fix it, or because they're so good at manipulating situations or playing guilt and shaming you, you will always feel bad and feel like things are your fault. Or it could be if you come from a family that you had a lot of abuse and had narcissistic parents, you may be very emotionally dysregulated, and you may be someone that explodes from the jump. And it's not because you are bad or wrong, it's because you may have had families where you always felt worthless, and the way that you fought it was by arguing and exploding, and you have a hard time controlling yourself. So regardless, whether you start off with huge emotional reactions or it eventually comes to where you have big emotional reactions, they are triggering you and they're pushing your buttons. They learn the buttons to push. They learn the things that are bothering you, and they then do things that really affect you. They say some of the worst things. They may make you feel out of control. They may make you feel helpless. They may make you feel worthless. So, and they will use some of these emotional wounds that maybe you have shared with them against you and to their advantage. And so what happens is they're doing all of this behind closed doors, okay? And then as time goes on, they will either start videotaping you and showing other people, or eventually as time goes on, because you are a normal brained human that your first goal isn't to manipulate things, you may be passive aggressive in public, or maybe things start kind of spilling out in public, and your partner, your narcissistic partner, and this could even be a family member too, is really good at trying to withhold an image. So I always say our emotions, when we have big emotions, one emotion will always overtake the other when it comes to what we see as important. So with a narcissist, they see their image and how society perceives them as really important, and they really place shame. Like, shame is the most, not feeling shame rather, is the most important thing to them, and they'll do anything to not feel shame. And so because of this, they put a mask on. And in public, they're really good at putting this mask on, that they are this good guy or girl, or that they're a good mom or dad or whatever it is. And so because they're good at putting this mask on, and you are not like that, you don't put these masks on, you are a human where you want to not be abused, you may have reactions to them, and even in front of people, or you may say things and then you look like the bad guy because of this, because you're not putting a mask on. So then they use this to their advantage. They will start planting seeds in people's ears and making it seem like you are this crazy person, because they have gotten you to a point where they make you feel crazy. They have criticized you to a point where you feel so low, and you are just begging for their love, especially when you have intermittent reinforcement, where you're having those high highs where they make you feel really good and those low lows where they make you feel worthless. You're on this roller coaster where it really does feel like you're crazy, because you're craving those good times so badly that during the bad times you are begging for them to be nice to you, or you're begging for them not to do these things to you, or you're wondering what are you doing that's causing them to be like this, or why are they like this, and how do you make it stop, because you want to make it work, because you see the potential of the person they could be. And so you're on this roller coaster where it feels like a complete mindfuck, to be honest, being with a narcissist, or living with a narcissist, having a family member that's a narcissist. And they are the conductor of this mindfuck. They're having a good time. So they feel in full control, they feel empowered, and the cherry on top is when they can get other people on their side, on their team, and make them see you the way that they want you to be perceived. So that's how they get people to see you as crazy, is they will say something that triggers you. Even if it seems like it's a harmless joke in public, you may snap, because you're human and you're hearing these horrible things behind closed doors constantly. So then you look crazy or bad, or maybe something will slip through because you're sick and tired of being treated like crap. You may make a little comment and then you look bad to other people, or they're showing people recordings of you looking bad, or maybe they start a fight and then you're reacting to all of this when they don't know the whole backstory. They don't know that there's been months or years of this torment that has caused you to get to this point. So how you deal with this, and I would say this is really, really hard, because your sanity is everything. When someone is messing with your sanity, it's really hard to try to combat it or try to do better. So what I would say is, one, the first thing is to definitely educate yourself on what's going on. Understand that they are mentally unwell and unhealthy. It has nothing to do with you. Even if you do unhealthy or bad behaviors, just know you're in survival mode. And when we're in survival mode, we do bad things. We really do. And so it's so important that you know that you're just trying to survive in this moment, and you're not being the best you can because you're surviving in this moment. The next thing is, it's so important for you to gray rock, or to not engage in any, and when they're trying to poke you, or know what, or like when you know they're about to try to say something hateful or hurtful, something that triggers you. It's so important that you are in control of you emotionally regulate, and you are in control of your triggers. And I have a video on here on how to do that. I also have emotional regulation book, which I'll leave right here. But it's so important you learn emotional regulation and understand that this is hard, and it may not resonate with everyone, but we can decide what we determine is true. So if there's something someone's saying that we don't trust, or we don't believe is true, we have to fight in everything in our power to know that it is not true, and we are not going to take it in and allow it to be a part of our belief system. So it's really important that you know that this narcissistic person is not trustworthy, they are not healthy, they don't know what they're talking about, and you have to not see them as someone that's on the same level as you, where you can trust their word and that they actually care about you. That's really important, because you can no longer see this person as someone that you can trust. You also cannot confide in them anymore. You cannot share things with them. You need to be careful of the information you share with them. You have to hold your cards close to you. And the most important thing is to stay away from them as much as possible. If you're stuck in this situation, I know it's really difficult, but gray rock, like I said, where you show no reaction to things that they say, so that way they can't pick up what would bother you or what would trigger you. Try not to spend so much intimate time with them. Be careful of the conversations you have with them. You want them to know nothing personal, because anything personal they know they can use against you. And it doesn't matter what they've known in the past, they need to know nothing in the future. And from here on out, it's so important you work on your confidence, you build up that self-esteem, and you trust in yourself. Because that's what the problem is, that it got to this point because you didn't trust in yourself. And it's not to blame you, it's for you to realize, like, I probably saw red flags and I ignored them and I listened to somebody else over myself. So it's so important that you trust in yourself and you listen to yourself and you learn to lean on yourself. And once you do that more, you won't feel this fire in you to fight back at them, because you are a rock. And I always think about Buddhists, and I think about how they're able to detach. And that's what I want to be like. Am I like that now? No. I have work to do, but I know it's possible because I see Buddhists do it. And so that's how I know I'm not crazy to think that's possible, to detach and to allow things to just pass by me. It's really the ego that comes out that wants to fight. But if you lower your ego, and not in a sense of degrading yourself or not thinking that you're important, because you are, it's more so about the ego's trying to protect insecurities and things, and it's so important to not feel shame about those insecurities. And once you do that, you have more power, and no one can tear you down from the things that you're insecure about or you feel shameful about or your wounds. So here are some things that can help you so that way you don't emotionally react with a narcissist. What do you guys think? Leave it on the comments below. And also, they'll less likely have ammo against you, and they'll eventually look bad because masks can have cracks and it will eventually come through, and then, so the truth eventually comes to light. And if it doesn't, they burn in hell. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't believe in that. But anyways, until next time, thanks for watching. Bye, guys. Also, don't forget to check out my book, Anxiety at the Root, if you struggle with anxiety. Bye. And by the end of this video, you're going to learn... Bloop. And by the end of this video, you're going... Why can I not talk? My tongue is like all over the place. Is combat the right word?